One of the best performing crypto projects in 2017 was Dash, a fast digital payment solution with a private send option. But things may have changed for Dash, as some people are starting to think it is no longer a privacy coin. The question is, what kind of year will Dash have in 2021? Has a lot of new and innovative features that might be just enough to send it over the top in this bull run. Today, I sat down with Amanda B. Johnson, content creator for Dash, to talk about the prospects of this project and whether it's still a good investment or not. Let's get it. Hey guys, I am so happy today to be joined by Amanda B. Johnson with Dash. As you guys know, we talked about Dash on the channel yesterday, so very excited to kind of get into how she got into content creation, how she got into working with Dash specifically, and then we're going to talk about, what are the prospects for this project. Had a big run up, 2016, 2017. Now, like every other coin, it's gone down. What's going to happen in this next run? So, Amanda, thank you so much for joining us today.
Yes, thanks for having me, Ben.
Absolutely. So I watched your channel very early on, in my crypto world, and you started out by just having regular crypto content, like crypto news, but you eventually moved on to only focusing on Dash. And I guess, what is your role at Dash? Spokesperson, you would say?
I have been doing content creation on a small marketing team. We're like 3 people.
Gotcha.
And we are one of the several organizations that applies for funding from the monthly Dash treasury system.
Gotcha.
So I do creative work on the marketing sub-DAO, maybe you could call it.
Sub-DAO. I like that.
Sub-DAO.
That's right. DAO, obviously, for you guys that don't know, decentralized autonomous organization. So it's not, Dash doesn't technically have a team. It's got foundations and DAOs and all kinds of stuff like that, or at least that's how it was originally set up. And so really cool to hear how you're involved there. My main question to you is, very briefly, how did you get into cryptocurrency? But I'm much more interested on how you made the jump from all cryptocurrency to specifically with Dash, because I think, we were talking off air, like I think you've been a great crypto YouTuber for anything. So, how did you kind of make that transition?
So to answer your first question,
Right.
I got into cryptocurrency because a friend reached out to me in spring 2013, and he said, "Have you heard of this Bitcoin stuff?" And I said, "I heard of it. Sounds weird. Sounds like
Yeah.
like World of Warcraft tokens or something." And he was
That's
like, "No,
probably
it's-
exactly what I would have said. That's funny.
yeah." He
Yeah.
said, no, it's real. It's the future. Why don't you download this app and I'll send you some. And he did, and we did. And frankly, I just left the app alone after that because I found it somewhat intimidating. And I may have left it alone for quite some time if the same friend hadn't called me a few months later and said, "I'm giving a presentation about Bitcoin at this conference, and I want you to present on my panel." I valued his opinion, didn't want to let him down, and so I thought, well, I guess I better become the kind of person who can answer questions about cryptocurrency on a panel.
Yeah.
So just started studying. And then, so as you alluded to, Ben, years later, I was reporting on all cryptocurrencies in general, both via a video format, and prior to that, I'd written at Cointelegraph and Bitcoinist and Bitcoin Magazine, etc. And the reason for my jump from covering the whole cryptosphere in general, similar to how you do, Ben, to working for Dash specifically, is because I'm first an investor in cryptocurrency,
Right.
like a user of cryptocurrency. I started owning and using cryptocurrency before I was ever like, could I talk about this online? And so that's still true. And so when I was learning about all these different cryptos to report about to others, I just started to notice differences between them. It was not like all coins are created equal sort of scenario. Right. And so as an investor first, and particularly as someone who was having poor experiences at the time with Bitcoin, this was, I guess, late 2016, maybe mid 2016. And so, I was just starting, like many others, I was just starting to experience what it feels like to have a transaction get stuck. Like not for 2 hours, not for 3 hours, not for 4 hours, for like more than 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And
something
this
I want to come back to that a little bit later.
Yeah,
because that's very
so
important what you just said.
That was scary. That was scary because I had put, like, you know, sweat, labor, and tears, as anybody does who buys cryptocurrency. You're taking your labor and your work that you've performed in the past, and you are transferring it into that token. And so for it to stop working as you expected it to work, that just scared the daylights out of me. And so then I was particularly interested in alternatives. So for reasons we, you know, can discuss if there's time, I ended up honing in on Dash in particular and decided that I wanted to, like, throw my lot in with them and compete in the market as a whole with them.
That's awesome. I mean, I think that's experiential. You know, you experience the problems with cryptocurrency, and we know Bitcoin is, you know, something that is not the optimal electronic currency that it was set out to be. The peer-to-peer electronic currency, as Satoshi said in the Bitcoin white paper title, there's a lot of contention around that statement on how important that subtitle is.
Right.
But we all know now, Bitcoin is digital gold. It is not an electronic currency. You know, very interesting theory I've got, which is we might eventually see Bitcoin as the peg to whatever becomes, you know, the overall arching electronic currency of the internet, which I think you probably would hope would be Dash, I would assume. But on the network congestion side of things, I just did a video yesterday on network congestion with Bitcoin and how in 2017, what we saw is Bitcoin get clogged up. And you were talking about earlier how many hours. Well, you know, the average time, even as recently as a couple weeks ago, where confirmations was 5 hours for Bitcoin when it peaked over 12K. We saw back in 2017, it actually went as high as 5.5 days for confirmation times. People were very scared by that. And I actually have said that I believe, well, it's kind of like, you know, like when people make profits in Bitcoin, they invest in Ethereum, then they move down from there. Well, when network congestion happens, people immediately go to Ethereum to send value faster if the Bitcoin network is clogged up. But we know Ethereum's got issues too. So what happens is people then start looking for other kinds of cryptocurrencies that are reputable, that they trust, that are fast, that they can use to send value around, that are on a variety of exchanges. And I said yesterday in a video, I think Dash could be the favorite to be kind of the darling of Bitcoin or of cryptocurrency traders when it comes to people wanting to do things quickly and not get caught up in those, you know, the network congestion. What do you think about that? Obviously, I believe you probably think the same thing. You know, I think you probably think Dash is a good candidate there. How important do you think it is for people to find an alternative for sending value when those networks are clogged, and why should they choose Dash?
It's very interesting that you bring that up in particular, because within the past month, there has been something that is very pertinent to what you're talking about happen in Dash. So as viewers may or may not know, Dash has had what can be seen as basically an instant confirmation, or we could call it like an instant settlement capability for years now. But the thing about it is that that's not useful unless the businesses and exchanges that traders and the rest of us are patronizing choose to support that feature, right? Because they could go either way. They could either say, oh, you know, Dash is just like every other crypto. We want 3 confirms, 6 confirms, 10 confirms, whatever. Or if they look into Dash and decide, hey, that technology for instant respendability seems legit to us, there are businesses that are now saying, okay, no confirms for Dash. It's just once we see the broadcast, you can start trading. And so that started happening with enough exchanges and enough different providers, like hardware wallet providers and like trading bot providers, that one of the business developers who works at Dash Core Group, another sub-DAO.
Sub-DAO.
Yeah, exactly. Sub-DAO. He was like, okay, what if we like give a name to this association of like growing exchanges and other things that accept either accept Dash instantaneously, you can start trading, or they've at least reduced the required confirms to maybe 1 confirm, maybe 2. And so he dubbed it the Fast Pass network. And it includes Coinbase, Coinbase Pro, Liquid, Hummingbot, Quadency, all sorts of other things.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can get the full list of the companies at dash.org/ fast pass, right? And so for exactly what you're talking about, Ben, which is, okay, I'm a crypto trader, I'm seeing congestion on some of the coins that I typically use, and I want to move value fast because I see an arbitrage opportunity here.
Right, exactly.
Or, yeah, I want to start staking or margin or whatever over here. If it were me, I would check out these Dash FastPass providers and see if you can't, like, you know, connect the dots in the ways that you want to trade to, I mean, it should be, I think, like industry fastest opportunity.
Well, and that's the key thing. I mean, in this video that I put out last night, or when you guys are watching this, I would have put it out on Saturday night. The thing is there's two things that are affected by the network congestion. You have your speed and your fees. But in reality, the speed is going to cost you a whole lot more money than the fees. The fees don't matter. You're going to be able to make that back when you're able to make a trade efficiently. Right. And I think that's awesome, the fast pass. I'll say, you know, out of all the cryptocurrencies I've used their apps and things like that, the three to me that stand out as being, you know, very fast, the fastest I've used are Digibyte, Nano, and Dash. I mean, the Dash app is incredibly fast for sending cryptocurrency. When I did a review on it years ago, super impressed with the app. And I'm sure it's had a lot more innovations to make it even, you know, a better app probably today than it was, you know, the last time that I had used it. I just outed myself as not using the app recently. Sorry, Amanda. Can we still be cool? Okay.
I'll think about it.
You'll think about it. That's nice. So you guys have a new video series coming out with Dash. Now, just so everybody knows, this is not a sponsored interview at all. I reached out to Dash because I wanted to get you on the channel because, like I said, I watched you in the past, saw you were doing the new video series, very interested in it. So just tell us like some of the innovations that you're highlighting in the new series and things that are really exciting going on with Dash like right now.
So for anybody who I guess was listening to crypto news in late 2015, so we're talking like 5 years ago almost.
A hot minute ago.
I know, right? Which I guess, but in crypto years, it's more like 35 years ago. Is. So probably a lot of you weren't even born.
Right,
when this
right,
happened.
Exactly.
Dash announced that we intended to undergo this sort of transformation to make us like much more user-friendly at the protocol level for payments. And they like kind of code-named it or dubbed it evolution, right? Mm-hmm. And we collectively thought it'll take about 2 years for the reworking to be complete. Fast forward to 2020, it has quite obviously taken considerably longer than 2 years, but praise be, the final product is now in DevNet, developer network, which is the final stage before testnet. And then as we know, testnet, the final stage before we go live on mainnet. And so what's in DevNet, soon to be testnet now, is the piece most popularly talked about is the protocol level replacement of cryptographic addresses with human readable usernames.
Love that.
Which is huge. And It's not that cryptographic addresses are going away. They'll still be what's working on the back end.
It's like HTTP protocol with the URL address. Yeah.
Just 100%. 100%. But then also, I think just as excitingly, maybe even more, is what we understand to be the world's first decentralized HTTP API. And that's a whole lot of jargon to essentially, and letters. Yeah. A lot of alphabet. Yeah. To essentially say that it has not thus far been possible to interact with any blockchain without one of two things. You've either needed to have a full node, or you've needed to subscribe to like a third-party API service to feed full node data to you. And upon the release next year, I think first quarter next year, of this whole package, which we're calling Platform, the final installment of the evolution, this decentralized API means you'll be able to read and write data directly from the Dash blockchain just via a web browser or just via your mobile app. Like, goodbye third-party APIs. So we think it's super exciting, and we are, super hoping that that both the novelty of this development as well as the ease of development, because as I understand, the SDKs support several different programming languages, that we are able to attract a robust developer community that's looking to like, where's the next big place to build dApps? Because as I've heard some people who are more programmatically inclined than I am say, if Ethereum can be considered decentralized compute, Dash, as of next year, first quarter, will be able to do decentralized storage.
Yeah,
and so it's kind of like this really nice complement of like, okay, what's it like to develop a dApp for decentralized compute? And now what's it like to develop a dApp for decentralized storage? And so we're super excited.
Yeah, definitely. You guys make sure to check out, is that just on the Dash YouTube channel, correct? The videos
yeah, so if you, yeah, it's on the Dash YouTube channel, or if you just want to do search terms, I think if you just type like Dash decentralized cloud, because that's kind of what we're calling it, because that's kind of what it is, it'll for sure be the first thing that comes up.
Definitely when it's raining, you want decentralized clouds. Sorry, I'm sorry.
And
listen, I got two more questions for you real quick. We're running a little long here for interviews I usually do, but this has been super fascinating. I think what you just said there was really huge. Not when you didn't really laugh at the joke. That was not huge. Okay. I always have one joke that bombs during the interview. Okay. That was it. The two questions I want to end here with. Number one is when it comes to privacy, there was an article out, I should have pulled up the article here so I would have the actual name of the person with Dash, or, in the orbit of Dash's decentralized structure, said that, with all the regulations coming to privacy coins, and people in America are scared about privacy coins. Australia has already pretty much banned them, trading from Binance with things like that. It seemed like there's been a change of focus, in my opinion, with Dash from privacy focused to online payment solutions. And just kind of what are your thoughts on, is that what is happening right now with Dash?
I think the only way to make sense out of all of this is context. And the context you are seeing with, if I'm thinking correctly of what article you're referencing, is that in some jurisdictions around the world, Dash is being removed from like an exchange, or like given like a frown or a scowl in that particular jurisdiction, and they're using the term privacy to justify their frowning and scowling. And so the recent correction that you've seen coming from various Dash community members, where they're saying Dash is not a privacy coin, Dash is not a privacy coin, it doesn't make sense taken at face value, because what they're actually saying is Dash, the privacy feature on Dash is the same as Bitcoin, which is CoinJoin. Yeah. And CoinJoin was being used on Bitcoin before Dash was even invented. And so that's more what, so that's more what people are saying. They're saying that if you call Dash a privacy coin, okay, then Bitcoin is also a privacy coin, and dozens of other coins are also privacy coins. So when they say that, what they're saying is that there's no justifiable basis for discrimination. So the CoinJoin feature on Dash remains available as it always has been, and in fact I understand it's being used now more than ever. And so that's
Dash that. Fork of Bitcoin, right?
Yeah, so I mean,
Xcoin, Darkcoin, Dash.
Technically,
I got the right chain, right?
It was I know, right? No, technically it was a fork of like Litecoin with features of, tell me, it was a Peercoin or Primecoin that were factored into it. But then later they changed the code base to be based on Bitcoin. So now we have the benefits of always being able to, bring in Bitcoin backports for security improvements.
That's awesome. Last question. And I know you probably don't do price predictions. Maybe you do. I don't know.
Oh, no.
You don't do price predictions. That's okay. But I just want to know in general, why should someone want to invest in Dash for this bull run? And what are your prospects? What is the overall big picture you see for Dash in this bull run?
So you're assuming there's going to be a bull run. Good. Let's go with that.
Yeah, I like. Oh, are you assuming there may not be?
I mean, I assume that there will be at some point in the future, but whether it's tomorrow or in 10 years, that I don't know.
I say over the next year. I mean, I think we're in it, but
Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah. Well, it certainly seems more likely now than ever, Ben, right? Because the various printing presses of old style money around the world are just running off the hook.
Yep.
So it certainly seems likely. And for me, the most bullish reason to be in Dash, to use Dash, to buy Dash, is that the world is needing more and more every day, like a global form of cash.
Yeah.
As the printing presses of the old styles of money are running, and people are, everything in, you know, that's denominated in dollars or pesos or euros is just gradually getting more expensive all of the time. It seems pretty inevitable that we're all going to switch to a better form of money.
Yeah.
But why Dash in particular? I think that before we can speculate on something being useful for, will it be useful to track supply chains, or will it be useful to register identities, or, you know, all of these other cool app ideas that we've talked about with regard to blockchains for years and years now. To me, I won't feel secure about any of those various cool applications unless the value of the base token and the security of the base network is 100% rock solid.
Yeah.
And to me, the only way to ensure that that value and that security remain rock solid is for the base token to first and foremost be useful for payments. And so
that's what Andreas Antonopoulos said. You know, he said the first layer of blockchain is money. You know, all the other stuff, all the other utilities, they're great down the road, but you know, the first layer application for blockchain is money. And I think until we get that thing that really serves that purpose,
I couldn't agree with Antonopoulos more there. That sounds perfect, Ben.
But I actually said it, so the proper thing was to agree with me. Okay. I pulled it. Okay. I'm just kidding, Amanda. So I do want to just, lastly, I want to wrap up just kind of a final statement. You said earlier when you started working with Dash, like you thought, you know, hey, this thing is going to be ready soon. And now 5 years later, you know, you're like, okay, it's kind of coming out. And I think that's a very common experience in cryptocurrency, not necessarily always from the development side, but for me personally, even if you had asked me 3 years ago, I would have said, we were already adopted it. You know, everything's adopted, mainstream, it's coming, it's perfect, everything's great. But the more you're in this space, this is a conversation I have with a lot of people, the more you're in the space, the more you see like how long-term everything is. And for me personally, I feel like cryptocurrency is pure speculation for probably another 4 or 5 years. Then eventually, maybe after the next bull run, if another one comes after this one, I'm talking about 2 cycles from now, 2 Bitcoin cycles from now, we might be able to get some kind of connection between utility and value. Ultimately, I believe it will happen. It's just a timeline of when that will occur. So, but Amanda, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been a killer interview. Definitely very glad to have you on the channel, and come back anytime. You know, maybe when conferences become a thing one day, you know, maybe we can meet in person. It would be fantastic. And just tell everybody real quick where they can find you at, and then we'll also link to the video series, the new Dash video series, down below in the description.
Well, that is the one place that you can find me, Ben. I have recently, I've brought a new level of Zen into my life by not being on social media right now. It doesn't mean it's going to last forever. Shoot, maybe one day I'll decide, you know, TikTok, or, you know, go where
Oh, you know I'm big on TikTok. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Oh, you did know that?
No, yes. Yes, no, yes.
Oh, you did know that. Oh, it's a secret.
Yes.
The secret's out. Everybody. And when Amanda knows, she's out in her Dash lab, okay? And when she picks her head up, gets out of the hardcore work you guys are doing, she's watching BitBoy Crypto on TikTok. I like that. That's fantastic.
You got it.
I like it. So yeah, so everybody check out the video series. I don't know if I cut you off. Did I cut you off? Did you? Were you saying anything else?
Nope.
I picked the perfect time to interrupt. You know, it doesn't get any better than that. Once again, Amanda, thank you so much for coming on the channel. You guys check out the links down below in the description to find out what Dash has going on. That's all I got. Be blessed. Boy out.